Mark's Gospel, the earliest narrative story, ends with an empty tomb. There are no Jesus sighting stories after his death. They were added in later Gospels, Matthew, John, and Luke. Marcus Board suggests that these sighting stories, one of which we will hear today, underline the parabolic meaning of Mark's story of the empty tomb. One of the main themes that run through these stories is that Jesus lives. Borg says Jesus continues to be experienced after his death, though in a radically new way. He is no longer a figure of flesh and blood, confined to time and space, but a reality who can enter locked rooms, journey with followers without being recognized, but a reality be experienced in both Galilee and Jerusalem, vanish in a moment of recognition, and abide with his followers always, to the end of the age. Jesus lives. He is a figure of the present, not simply of the past. The presence his followers had known in Jesus before his crucifixion continued to be experienced and to operate after it. With this in mind, hear now this Jesus sighting story, reading from Luke 24:13 to 35. Now on the same day that the women had been to the tomb, two of the followers were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem, and had been talking with each other about all the things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself came near and went with them. But their eyes were kept from recognizing him. And he said to them, "What are you discussing with each other while you walk along?" The followers stood still, looking sad. Then one of them, whose name was Cleopas, answered him, "Are you the only stranger in Jerusalem who does not know the things that have taken place here in the last days?" He asked them, "What things?" They replied, "The things about Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in death and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and leaders handed him over to be condemned to death and crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Yes, and besides all this, it is now the 3rd day since these things took place. Moreover, some women of our group astounded us. They were at the tomb early in the morning, and when they did not find his body there, they came back and told us they had indeed seen a vision of angels who said he was alive." Some of the followers went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but they did not see him. Then the stranger said to them, "Oh, how foolish you are, and how slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have declared. Was it not necessary that the Messiah should suffer these things and then enter into his glory?" Then, beginning with Moses and all the prophets, he interpreted to them the things about himself that all the scriptures had said. As they came near Emmaus, he walked ahead as if he were going on, but they urged him strongly, saying, "Stay with us, because it is almost evening, and the day is now nearly over." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he was talking with us on the road, while he was opening the scriptures to us?" That same hour they got up and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 and their companions gathered together. They were saying, "The Lord has risen indeed, and he has appeared to Simon." Then the two followers told what had happened on the road, and how he had been made known to them with the breaking of the bread. Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church.